Welcome back to Sportsmanlike Conduct Podcast. I'm your host, Cassius Clee, and we are back in the studios of Industry City, Brooklyn, New York. Once again, what's up, Onyx? How you doing, brother?
What's good?
Brother O.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Rudeness.
Let's get the bag.
Derek Dash.
Hey.
Quincy. How's
it going?
How are you, bro?
Man, doing well.
Finally got you on the show, bro.
Finally.
Yeah, it all started with Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he starts a lot of stuff, and get things in motion.
He left HBCU to go to Colorado.
Yep.
Jackson State. And we had a podcast a couple months ago. And you felt the way. And why don't we go back and talk about that?
Okay, we could do that.
All right. So when you first heard the podcast, what were your thoughts?
Thank you for listening and watching anyway. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, initially the thoughts that went through my head is like, how much information had been gathered or following the story of Coach Prime during his time at Jackson State, and being a staunch supporter of the HBCUs and speaking on how like athletes need to come back home and do what they need to do for these institutions to improve and move forward with growth, whether it's athletically, financially, and being a huge figure that he is, he definitely had the voice to make that happen. So once he left to go to Colorado, I just overall felt that it's going back on what you was building. Now, I understand you have to take the job that you feel is best, but without community, he could have just openly said that. And I think a lot of more people would have been okay with that. So watching the podcast and watching, y'all speak on that topic, and I don't think anybody has gone to any HBCUs. Is that true or false?
That is true.
Man.
True. But my last name is Howard, though.
Okay. That's something that gets you points right there. Yeah, so I wasn't like just going off the lid, going crazy about it. Everybody has their opinion, so I ultimately respect that. But I think kind of like when you're ingrained and then how we get attached to things, that's something that was just like, come on, man, you could have handled this a better situation in your exit, and everybody would have been cool with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Initially, my thoughts were Deion could do whatever he wants, right? He could leave, but I think he left it unfinished,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like right in the middle of bringing HBCUs to prominence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he gave it the platform. He gave it more attention than anyone probably could have done.
Absolutely.
Deion's stature, right?
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of comments came in about we don't understand HBCUs. We're not proud black men. A lot of, not you, but that was a lot of the comments, a lot of the feedback that we got.
Okay.
Which could be, nothing further from the truth, right?
Okay.
My only point was, and this is, if I had a son, he was a 5-star athlete, he's not going to an HBCU because if he wants to play ball, I'm going to have him go somewhere else. Now, I have a son in real life, right? He's going to start college in 2 years. We are going to go check out HBCUs because I want him to go to a black college and have the black experience and have a great education. My only thing was, if he's a 5-star athlete, he's probably not going to go there. Nothing against HBCUs, nothing against the SWAC, none of that stuff. Institution, right? They were built because black people couldn't go to college, the other colleges that they didn't let us. So we had to, build those colleges to get us an education. Now, fast forward, well, let me fall back. Let me give Ponix a chance to voice his opinion on what you think about the HBCU situation and Deion Sanders.
All right, so again, like O said, I appreciate you even watching.
Thank you.
Feel me? That's especially big. Even commenting and expressing your opinion is definitely valued. I think what caught me by surprise with the comment, because I think the conversation was being had, and I think there was a misinterpretation of what the topic question was. So it's just like we talk about setting up like what the topic is gonna be and what we're gonna cover. So that's the angle that we might be speaking on it off. It's not that we're devoid of information. We just didn't look at it in that way. So we're receptive. Yeah. We're receptive to the commentary because it's still like you went to one. You know what I mean? So like, of course you have more information. We're not trying to sit up here and be like, oh yeah, this is right, this is wrong. We just coming from our perspective. And speaking on myself personally, my thing with the Deion thing is just like, I don't know if you caught our last episode when we talked about only one player getting drafted. My thing is, I feel like, yes, there is a problem. Yes, we should want people to go to these schools and do what they need to do to put them to shed a light on what they're like, the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like at some point we gotta let go of it being Deion's thing, because at this point it's just like it should be bigger than Deion. Yes, he brings a spotlight. Yes, he brings notoriety, but a stepping stone shouldn't just be like, all right, cool, like it's only you now. Like more people should come in. Like what he did, I feel like should have inspired more people to do so. So I feel like it's a beginning, but the reason why I feel like we shouldn't just be like, all right, like it shouldn't be tied together because it's bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the perspective that I was trying to say. So it's just like, if he get another job, great for him. If he feel like that's what he wants, great for him. But at the same time, I feel like the focus should be like, why aren't we getting more people like Deion outside of just him coming back and fixing what needs to be fixed? You feel me? Because we already identified that there's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once again, what you're saying is correct, and we, as having a conversation, we all have to look at it from everybody's angle and point of view to see what people think, and then get to the nooks and cranny of it. I would state this. I went to Grambling State University, and so in place right now we have Hugh Jackson, which I love that hire for multiple reasons other than just the namesake that he has. But I actually believe that he is a good coach. It's just that you have to be in the right situation with the right players and the right control to do what you need to do. Now, what he's done in the NFL, that can be its own thing, but I love the hire of that. And that is part of, Coach Prime coming over. But it's administration. It comes down to the athletic directors, at all of these institutions. It comes down to the commissioner and the way that the offices ran, and figuring out what is the way we're going to market not only the SWAC, but all HBCUs. And one of my things with Coach Prime is I don't necessarily want to hold everything on him, because that's not fair. He's one man. He's human. And I also know he has a history of changing jobs, whether it's professional, whether it's post-career. So these are things that I were already privy and aware to. To me, I feel like he brought this upon himself, of one to wear the cape of being the savior of the HBCUs. And I think him doing that for himself is what has a lot of people, or had a lot of people, feeling a certain type of way about his approach and his departure from, Jackson State.
I hear you, brother. Oh,
yeah. Also, too, Eddie George.
Yeah, Eddie George at Tennessee State, absolutely.
So he's coaching one of the HBCUs.
Yeah. And real quick, in my dark, let me turn on the light real quick, because my windows is like floor to ceiling glass, and it's getting dark. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm. All right. Scott showing off. Got nice windows, man. I got windows.
Let me adjust this real quick. See how I can do this.
Yeah, where you calling from, Quincy? Let the people know.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta.
ATL.
Okay.
I go for a wedding.
All right. I got kids out in Grayson.
Grayson, okay. I'm actually out there all the time. My girlfriend is from that area, and our nephew attended Grayson, so he's at Grayson Middle right now.
Cool. That's what's up.
How's the lighting? Is that better?
Oh, a lot better.
Okay, perfect.
No doubt. Rudy.
Yeah, so I don't know, I like this whole feedback, this whole exchange that we having. It's definitely a good topic, a good way to get a better understanding and get different perspectives. You guys know Emerson Wall with the gambling.
Yeah, Emerson
so
Wall.
we're a huge Cowboys fan. So one of
Too Tall Jones,
and I think
HBCU.
Quincy.
Didn't Doug Williams go to gambling too?
Yeah.
They'll make it about the Cowboys.
Well, you know, we always had to throw a little cowboy in there. So when you said gambling, I was like, oh, I think you got one of our Cowboys that with the gambling. But yeah, that's what's up, man. So like I said, we just appreciate, you know, the time that you decided to put to us and you know, go over these topics and stuff like that. And we hope that, you know, future topics you'll be able to sit in and give your comments and your views and stuff like that, because this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, this caught me off guard. At first, I thought it was just gonna be like a sound check, but seeing this actual recording, I mean, you know, all things hold true, so it's not hard to pick up on it. But yeah, as far as the conversation, man, you know, these are the conversations that have to be had, because if you, this isn't to shut out people, but we all learn what we learn through our experiences. And one of the gentlemen earlier, I wanted to touch on it, is, you know, about his son being a 5-star. If his son is a 5-star athlete, he will more than likely pass over HBCUs. I mean, that's understood. And so, you know, my look at it is we all have to choose what's the best option for us. But I believe a lot of things mentally is just the way things are marketed to us. And if you don't know about something, then how do you know if that's necessarily the best option or not? You know, to another credit to Coach Prom and the athletes that he had brought into Jackson State, you know, these last 2 years, you've had 2 players drafted. Yeah. So now they might not have been high draft picks, but the notion of it's hard to get drafted out of a HBCU, we can cut that now. But also facilities.
Definitely facilities.
Travel, you know, it is a huge difference in disparity of what we have now. But then again, think about if more of these athletes come to our institutions, where the eyes are going to be. Yeah. The eyes are going to be more so on us, which turns into ad dollars, and then also the money that networks want to spend or creating our own network to then generate money for our community so that we can now show our athletes off in the best way possible. You don't have a middleman anymore of you got to do these deals with networks and all this and all these other things. You can promote these athletes on their own social platforms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, NIL is a big thing too. Now you definitely need the backing to get some of these kids. Now, if you could tell me as a struggling high school athlete, my family struggling, I could go to say Alabama or HBCU, where Alabama could give me $1 million in an NIL deal, and HBCU can't compete with that.
And that's a hard thing for us to sell and have somebody come to us, but also go back and say, look at how much a disruption Coach Prom was while he was there. Now, once again, you know, he made a decision that he made, and that was technically in like a 2.5 year period and maybe 2.5 seasons in general. But I truly believe that, you know, higher up people saw that as a huge disruption happening, and we need to get them out of there. Because if you have that, or if you have a Mike Vick, or you have an Ocho, or you have these other guys that's now coming and being a part of our culture and being a part of like coaching staff and things of that nature, where do the kids want to go? I don't really believe kids buy into institutions. I think kids buy into the people that's in place at the institutions.
I believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it takes time, and it's a snowball effect, and we know all those things. But you can never grow somewhere if you're being picked away from that place.
Agreed. I got one question though, and I've always wondered this. So like, I know like certain HBCUs be in like different type of like locations, let's say, right? I think I heard the Marcus Cousins speak on it. He wanted to go somewhere like, so I think my biggest question and my biggest fear of what I think is like severely holding them back is a lot of athletes do want to stay close to home. Mm-hmm. And it could be very much detrimental too. Not because of the institute and not because of the program, but because they're at home. They're more liable to be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to just go down the block.
Back to the hood.
Because I'm still here. You feel me? So I feel like that part would be like my biggest understanding of like someone wanting to send their kid to a Alabama or someone wanting to send their kid away to like Duke as opposed to, all right, cool. Like, I'm from here. You're going to go here because then next thing you know, you might have a John Morant thing. And John Morant is luckily in the NBA, but imagine how bad that would be if he was caught doing that as someone that's entering the draft. It would fuck up his whole stock. You feel me? So
like
I don't.
South Carolina State.
That's something I wondered. I don't really know like things. So like I'm bringing it to you because maybe you can enlighten me more.
Okay. I think you actually helping my case a little bit more in this situation. So one of the schools you named is Alabama, and we have a situation where one of the players from Alabama team is kind of caught up in, an unfortunate situation where a young lady lost her life.
Brandon Miller.
By another guy that was on the basketball team, correct? Yeah,
he got kicked off the team.
So in that sense, that goes to show you that it doesn't necessarily mean that one environment is better than the others. It's really about who you're around and what situations you unfortunately find yourself in. Mm-hmm. And so that's one thing. Now, as far as like, but you can talk about campus. Hey, the campus is probably nicer, more top of the line. But then you have Howard, who's knocking it out the park with the way that their campus is. You have Prairie View, who has an amazing campus. You have Alabama A&M, which has an amazing campus. And I would tell a story on how I got to Grambling. So I played basketball at Grambling. And I went to other schools, USM, University of Southern Miss, University of New Orleans, University of Lafayette. So it was a mix of HBCUs and PWIs. Man, after I got to Grambling and we had our workout and toured the campus, I said, yo, Pops, we can cut off communicating with anybody else because I'm seeing a flood of my people. Right. It's an environment that I felt the most safest. And then I also saw improvement around the campus that was going on. Nearly half of the campus doubled in size with brand new dorms, a brand new basketball arena. Mm-hmm. And then also there was a new college building that was having renovations. And had I not, taken the time to go there and tour how their campus was, I would have never made that decision,
1,000%.
Did you get any D1 offers?
Yeah, so from each one of those, all of them wanted me to come play for their school. Okay. And I preferred to walk on at Grambling over going to the other schools.
Gotcha.
So that speaks to another thing in itself. And I see we have like 8 minutes and 40 seconds left, so I try not to make it long. But
no, we can re-up.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have time, so as long as y'all want to keep this going, we can. But all that to say is, and I heard about Grambling before because of my grandpa, and I heard about the Bayou Classic. I'm from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, which is South Mississippi, and like 45 minutes from New Orleans. So the Bayou Classic went on every year. I had never gone to the Bayou Classic. The 1 year that it was in Houston, I had attended that, but that's still to say, like, nobody in my school district was like, hey, talking about HBCUs and all that.
Yeah,
all
don't
those
do that.
things. But in me, I said, hey, I'm not playing JUCO ball. I'm not playing NAIA ball. I'm going to play on a Division I level. Now I will say, if Duke would have came, it's lights out for everybody else.
That was my next question.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're going to be real about the situation. It's lights out about everybody else.
Yeah.
But Duke ain't come calling, you know. But still, I gave the chance to go on these campuses, you know, talk to administration, see how the campus life is. And as I said earlier, man, I felt at home. Okay. And how many other, you know, players or students might get that same feeling if they just give it a chance to let me go visit. But to, you know, be fair, we have to stop being scared of reaching out to, you know, top athletes or top students that's out there and having the fear of getting turned down. So it is a two-way street.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to come right back with Quincy. We're going to re-up, all right?